Coming up today on Sports Comedy Podcast, we're going to be talking a lot about the Mariners, and man, these guys can hit the ball, and they're winning. They've won 10 in a row, but can they keep it up? We're also going to be discussing the World Baseball Classic, which former Seattle Mariner carried yours truly to bed, and we're going to discuss the horrendous stuff that's going on in the top 5 teams in college hoops. All that and more. Sports Comedy Podcast starts now. Good evening, everybody. This is the Sports Comedy Podcast right now. We are feeling it. We are alive and well. The Mariners are alive and well. Gonzaga's alive and well. It's good to be a sports fan if you live in the state of Washington. Joining me right now, as always, Mike McDonald. What's up, buddy? What's up, Mike?
What's going on? And all sports comedy podcast listeners, we actually have a new co-host with us. He will be joining us for the first 2 segments because today we actually have a lot of Mariners to discuss. He's going to be joining us for every Mariners segment on here. Please welcome Austin Williams, a.k.a. Jose.
Hello.
And we have a lot of Mariners to talk about, so let's try and make this as quickly as can, but with a lot of detail. Let's do it. Start us off, Mike.
All right, well, before we talk Mariners, of course, all Seattle fans were excited for the Sounders opening day, and we actually were disappointed losing 1-0 against Montreal. And for one thing, a lot of people were, including myself, we were just wondering what was going on with Eddie Johnson when he missed that easy shot, Alex.
They had a lot of opportunities, and I know, dude, Johnson, I don't know. I could have made that. I was expecting him to make that. It's the first game jitters, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to spend too much time on the Sounders. They got a lot more games left. Johnson, just work on that shot, buddy. You'll get it down.
Yep. And now going to the Seattle Mariners, who finished off, yesterday they actually finished off 22 days in a row of working out, and they had a day off today. But yesterday they finished off their 9th win in a row.
10th.
10th. Thank you very much. They improved to 10-1, winning 16-6 against the Colorado Rockies. Raul Ibanez and Kyle Seager both hit home runs, which pushes the Mariners' streak to 8 games in a row where they had 2 home runs or more, and Casper Wells with 3 hits and 5 RBIs. Austin, I'm going to start with you. What do you think about this Seattle Mariners spring training team?
Well, I believe it's just not spring training, Alex. It'll carry into the regular season, and there'll be a lot of happy fans and workers. Hopefully, I'm one of the workers. You'll find out later what's going on. Felix Hernandez will do well.
For me, I love it, man. I mean, yes, compared to Austin, there will be a lot of happy, fans, a lot of happy workers. But on the other side of what Austin said, it is only spring training. And you can get mad, and you can say, Bull Pucky, these guys, they're hitting the ball. And yeah, they are. They are hitting the ball. I love seeing him hit the ball because this is something that us as Mariner fans don't get. Now, pitching, I'd like to see a little bit better with pitching because...
And of course, yes, and Alex did bring this up. Taijuan Walker, even though that he had a good first start in his first spring training game, he struggled mightily. And he may have been a little nervous, but he did get out of the inning with minimal damage, but the Mariners still won that game.
He's young, and he's going to learn from this. But the bottom line for me is this. Out of this 10-game winning streak, I love it. They are hitting the ball, but let's not forget, it is warm in Arizona. The ball carries. Not saying anything about spring training being all that. And by the way, Jason Bay, according to sources here, leads in slugging, and we'll get some stats here in a little bit. Nonetheless, keep it up, Mariners. If you can hit an 80-degree weather in Houston, or not Houston, freaking Arizona, or Surprise, wherever they're playing, just carry it into the regular season, and we're going to have a fun 162 games.
Exactly. Getting off to what you were just saying, but besides Taijuan Walker's struggle, I noticed against when we played the Rangers when we won 7-6, Bobby Luff from Boise. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I think I might. But
Lofton boys.
Luff from Boise?
Yeah.
He'll be in the minors, Mike. Don't worry about him.
Yes, but I believe he was actually seen as one of our top prospects. Austin, is that correct?
I don't think so.
No. Well, I think he was actually said that a big pitcher, basically, he was going to come up and basically, do good. But I did not see that. I didn't see that in that game against the Rangers. He scared me.
That's why we need to keep up the hitting, because I have no faith in pitching this year. There's Felix Hernandez, Hisashi Iwakuma, and Tom Wilhelmsen. Aside from that, there is nobody on this team that I feel is a legitimate, good, great pitcher. Honestly, I'm going to say it right now. Aside from those three, I don't think there's anyone else on this team that I can really count on.
And that's a good point. Moving on, let's go ahead and look at and we always do this every single podcast. We're going to do this. We take down the Seattle Mariners stats, and I'm only jot down the top 10, and I'm going to go in order or basically from highest to lowest. On base percentage, we're 8th right now with 366. We're tied for doubles, and we're tied for 6th place in doubles with 30. We're 5th in hits with 124. 4th in batting average with a 310. That's what I like to see. I like to see that good hitting. And we're both 2nd in runs and in RBIs. We have 76 RBIs and we have 83 runs scored. And we're 1st in slugging with a 585. And of course, with 2 home runs yesterday, we are 1st in home runs with 24.
Who leads the strikeout category for batters?
Who does?
Carlos Figueroa.
No shocker there. No shocker there.
There is no shocker there. But here's the scary thing. When me and Alex posted that picture of him, I believe in our first podcast, for some reason Carlos Figueroa, he just started hitting the ball.
He's going to hit and he's going to strike out. He is your typical either hit or miss pitcher. Now, he is nothing like Jack Cust. He is nothing like Jack Cust. But wasn't Jack Cust one of those guys where A, it's either going to be a home run, or B, it's either going to be a strikeout? He's not quite like him, but just on the verge of being like him.
Yeah, that's a good point. But to tell you the truth, I really am excited to see what this Mariner Ball Club can do, because we have the power, we have a great young core of hitters that so far is delivering for the Mariners in spring training. Yes, it is spring training. Who cares? I don't care if you get pissed off at me because I say it's spring training, but I don't care if it's spring training or not. These kids are playing like this is the season, and they are playing like they are making a run for the playoffs, basically.
And the one thing that I like, and I'll let Austin make a point here pretty soon if he wants to. I was listening to Shannon Drayer, shout out to Shannon Drayer, and she was saying that when this Mariner team was playing spring training a few years ago, they weren't scoring any runs, and she was saying, "Oh my God, here we go again, another long season." These guys are scoring runs, and that is one thing for Mariner fans, as we all know. These guys couldn't hit to save their lives. Now they are hitting to save their lives. They are smacking the ball, and that's one thing that I want to see. I don't care if they're winning or losing. They're on a 10-game winning streak. Great. But hit the ball, and that's what they're doing. I love to see the progression from all these guys. But I am concerned about pitching. If there's one thing I don't like, it's the pitching.
Yep, that is a good point. Alex, sorry, damn it, I keep getting that mixed up. Austin, you can go ahead and make a point if you want.
I really have nothing else to say except that John Hicks leads in average, and I really don't know who that is. And as Alex said earlier, Jason Bay leads in slugging.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that. What are we doing right now on the podcast right now, Alex?
We're at 8:41. We got a minute left.
Okay, so we're gonna head and go ahead. I'm gonna tell you everything about the second segment. We're gonna continue on with the Seattle Mariners. We're gonna finish off what we're doing here. We're gonna tell you about leaders and stats and who's doing who's hitting really good, and we'll finish off with a little World Baseball Classic update, and we're also going to fill you in on a little NCAA basketball, which I don't know if Alex or Austin would like to talk about, but I'll surely talk about it.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so we will be right back. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with segment 2.
Sports Comedy Podcast, Part 2, coming up.